We need to have a talk about Escape from Tarkov, and we need to have this talk as soon as possible because we need to nip a few things in the bud before they spread and get worse and worse. For those of you who are not aware, Escape from Tarkov is a new survival PvP game from the company Battlestate. Chances are this is not the first time that you have heard about Escape from Tarkov. YouTubers such as Jack Frags and Westy, just to name a few, have already done videos about it based on what small information that we do have and that has been released from Battlestate. The purpose of this video is not to explain the nature, the concepts, the mechanics, and the idea about Escape from Tarkov. If you want that information, I would refer you to them and to the Escape from Tarkov site itself from Battlestate and read the FAQs and other information there. What this video will be about is something completely different. Something completely different in the sense that I don't seem to see anybody else talking about it. At least nothing to my knowledge, nothing from anyone really big. Blue Drake, perhaps. But we need to have a serious discussion about this game because we need to get a few things out of the way before this game gets any bigger and before we allow ourselves to hype this game up more than is necessary. So let's discuss this first, alright? The market for the survival PvP experience is very big. There are a lot of games out there that strive to capture the dollar for this market. You have games like DayZ, of course, Rust, 7 Days to Die. There's many examples. It's clear that this is a genre that players want, and I think that players want it so much they are willing to put some common sense and some self-control to the wayside in order to get what they want, or to self-hype these games that they hear about. And I believe that Escape from Tarkov is one of those games. In fact, I think it may be one of the worst to date. The number one being, of course, the infamous DayZ, or famous, depending on your preferences, and depending on how you've taken DayZ development so far. But let's not delve too much into DayZ. Let's use it as a guide. Because just like DayZ, this game has received a lot of hype, and that hype is not good. When games are hyped, people receive expectations that are not really representative of the product, and people buy it based on excitement, not perhaps on the reality of what we've seen, or the cynicism that we should have as consumers for pretty much everything. Because I believe that healthy cynicism goes a long way, especially in the market that video games has today. Never take anything at face value, and don't let a couple shiny videos tell you that you should drop money on a product that you don't even know is going to be finished. In this sense, I am talking about the Escape from Tarkov pre-orders, which Battlestate would be happy to sell you from prices ranging starting at $45 all the way up to the Ultimate Edition of this game at $140. Yes, $140. Let's go ahead and run through them quickly now so we can get a sense of something that really worries me about this game already. Escape from Tarkov pre-orders start with the Standard Edition for $45. After that, you get the Left Behind Edition with even more goodies for $75. After that, you get the Prepare for Escape Edition. That, of course, costs even more, $100, which is where many other games stop. Then, the Limited Edition, the Edge of Darkness Edition, is a staggering $140. Last video, I bitched, and I believe rightly so, on the pre-order of $100. That included a season pass. $100 is a lot of money. Okay. $140? Ooh boy. You better give us a lot of goodies for $140. And I'm not just talking about more than the blind faith takes to buy that kind of a game, pre-order that kind of a game, and spend that kind of cash. Now, this wouldn't bother me so much if everything that was included with the Escape from Tarkov pre-orders was simply cosmetic. However, this is definitely not the case. Now, I'm not ready to outright say that Escape from Tarkov is a pre-order to win game. However, right now it is very obvious that this is a pre-order to get advantage game. Let's take a look at exactly what each pre-order gives you. The Standard Edition pre-order will be $45, and it will come with, of course, the game itself, guaranteed access to the closed demo, and bonus equipment at the start of the game. Now, the nature of this equipment is very relevant to the question whether or not this will be a game that is pre-ordered to win. It's definitely an advantage because you get bonus equipment, and equipment has some sort of effect or allows you to do certain things. The degree to which, though, well, that's still in question. Normally in games that have quote-unquote realistic damage models like this, bonus equipment won't matter quite as much. However, like I said before, it remains to be seen just what this bonus equipment is. Now the Left Behind edition, we bump up the price to $75. You get early access, access to the demo, chance to be selected for alpha testing, and the bonus equipment at start. Alright. However, your stash size, and your stash is a place which you could put things in that you don't want to lose if you die during PvP raids, that gets increased from the normal 10x20 space to 10x30. So you can hold more extra stuff. That doesn't have too much of an impact on gameplay. It's really just more of a slightly larger insurance policy. And of course you get additional equipment and resources in that stash. Now, on the FAQ section of the game, one of the questions asks, what additional equipment and resources will there be in a stash? The answer of which is, the exact contents is yet to be determined, but it will contain food, medical supplies, ammo, weapon parts, and trading items. Now, the potency of these is yet to be determined. However, based on the picture that I see before me, one would assume that the bonuses of additional equipment would include what seems to be an RPK-type assault rifle, or a light machine gun in this case. What this looks like is that since the weapon modding in this game is supposed to be extremely modular and basically every part of your weapon can be customized, this picture leads me to believe that you will have access to large magazines, perhaps a special grip, a special stock, a bipod, perhaps a heavy lengthened barrel. I'm not sure, but that's simply what it's leading me to believe. I also can't help but notice that there are 3 extra magazines sitting on the side there, and since normally in the game you start off with only 1, well, this leads me to believe that you will have additional magazines going into the game, and I don't know about you, but having, and since that's an extended clip, 120, 145 bullets instead of, say, 30, that sounds like it's a pretty big deal. Up next, for the price of $100, it's hard to believe that it goes even higher, you get the Prepare for Escape edition. The early on comes with early access, guaranteed access to the closed demo, chance to be selected for alpha testing, bonus equipment at start, greatly increased size of the stash by 20 spaces, additional equipment and resources in stash. You also get a larger secured container, which battle state is when asked the question, what is unique secure container for? They say you can use it to store items you don't want to lose in case of death in the raid. Originally I said that's what cases are for, and I apparently may be confused here. I don't think they make it very clear the differences between a stash and a container, or what a stash is, but I suppose that is yet to be seen. So apologies for the confusion, but to me it's not very clear either. Next up it says you have more cash at the start, which they say is 2 to 3 times more than the standard edition. Next we have initially good standings with all in-game traders. Now the question on the site asks, better standing with all traders, what does that mean? They say traders will treat you better, offer better prices, and a larger selection of goods. Now this is worded as initially good standings, which does lead me to believe that you can work your way up to that if you don't pre-order the game, though it still does seem to be an early bonus. All of these things seem to be perhaps potentially very potent bonuses. I guess we'll see. Now here we go onto the $140 limited edition, which will be available for, they say, 2 to 3 months, the Edge of Darkness edition for Escape from Tarkov. You get an early unlock of your digital copy, early access to the closed demo, guaranteed participation in alpha testing, bonus equipment at the start, huge size of stash, 10x60, which is 40 spaces more than the starting stash, additional equipment and resources in stash, unique secure container, large field backpack, which would, to me, be, I guess, the amount of things you can actually carry on your person at one time. And they do say on the site that the large field backpack has more inventory space on it. Even more cash at the start. Combat Tactical Tomahawk. The question on the FAQ says, Tactical Combat Tomahawk is just another melee weapon skin, or is it somehow different from the standard melee weapon? To which the answer is, it is different. All melee weapons in the game are different and have their own unique characteristics. Let us hope that it is nothing overpowered. Maybe perhaps just something showy. I wouldn't mind that. Next up, we have, of course, initially good standing with all in-game traders, and then you get a unique in-game ID. Now, the unique in-game ID is, as they say, a unique symbol before the username, unique appearance of the player card, and probably a unique player appearance, face or head. Okay, that's just superficial stuff. Free access to all subsequent DLCs. Season Pass. Well, color me surprised. There's going to be a Season Pass. There's a Season Pass for everything now. It's the season of Season Passes. So the game's not even out yet. We barely know anything about the game, but I'm sure people will be eating up the idea that they can pre-order a Season Pass for the game. Dear Lord. So, initially, I was extremely excited about this game, and to a degree, I still am. I still am excited about this game. However, learning all this stuff about the bonuses that come along with the pre-orders, many of which does seem to be a pretty significant or potentially significant advantage over people who aren't foolish enough to pre-order this game, it does make me scratch my head with a bit of incredulity here. And I think that my hesitance is something that should be shared by more people, a lot of people. I mean, Battlestate, they really want you to pre-order this game, and they will give you the kitchen sink and the key to the city in order to get that money from you up front. And that sends a lot of wrong vibes to me. That sends really a not so fantastic message that they're willing to give that much away so that you'll pre-order this game. I mean, I'm looking here at the FAQ on my other screen. Question: improve starting equipment and inventory. What is the difference from the standard one? Answer: standard set of equipment will be given to those who buy the game after its release. It contains a limited quantity of some basic items. E.g., the standard set will contain 1 PM mag, an improved set will contain 2 mags and a box of ammo. Already, that's kind of a big difference. 30 more bullets and more ammunition to refill those magazines with should you run dry. Now, I get the vibe that this is supposed to be a hardcore survival game, and it does look that way. But, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the more money you spend on the game for a survival experience, the less of a survival experience it is. You make things easier for you the more money you spend. And to me, that seems to go against the idea of a survival game. Now, even in DayZ, for all of its problems, everybody starts out equally. In DayZ, it doesn't matter how much time or effort you might have invested in the game. Once you start off, you all start off with the same thing. A bullet will kill you no matter what. Doesn't matter how long you've played. Doesn't matter what your experience level is. Everybody is on the same playing field here. You don't get any physical, objective bonuses for buying the game earlier than somebody else. If a friend of mine bought DayZ tomorrow, him and I would have the exact same version of the game, and the only difference that there would be between us is our level of experience and our knowledge of the game itself. So I really hope that these differences are very quickly overcome. For instance, if it turns out magazines aren't terribly all that rare, ammo isn't terribly all that rare, or the extra equipment and tradable stuff in this game doesn't make too much of a difference, okay, alright, I'm willing to kind of go along with that for now, for the moment. But that still doesn't quite put a dampener on my healthy cynicism for this game. Now, that being said, I am very excited for Escape from Tarkov. I will look forward to getting new information. I will look forward to seeing new things. I will look forward to experiencing the game as it comes out. For instance, this is an image from the game, and I find all these little details that I think are really neat. For instance, you could see that the dust cover is off on the AK. You could see that there are parts missing, including, interestingly enough, The rear sight of this AK isn't even on the rifle itself. It's little things like that that really give this game a feeling of, at the same time, a high militarization aspect, but also the idea that you can really be down in the dumps in terms of equipment at the same time. That's what I really like. I like that variety that this game tries to portray. I like all the little tiny details that I see. But every time I get super excited about this game, I have to tell myself, Rags, calm down, all right? Don't fall victim to overhype. Do not give this game unrealistic expectations. Have a healthy level of cynicism. Take this game for what it is, not what you hope for it to be. And unfortunately, I fear that that is something that a lot of people simply do not do. I don't think people are going to be realistic about what this game's going to be. I see in the comments all the time, oh, just wait for Escape from Tarkov, it'll be great. Oh man, I've already bought this game, I've already pre-ordered this, man, can't wait for it to come out. We really need to slow our roll and rein in the horses on this one, okay? We've been burned too many times. We as a community have been burned too many times. Do not look at all the things that they say they'll give you for pre-ordering and think that you have to pre-order this game to have a advantage or to have all the tiny little goodies in this game. Because just like I would say most games that come out, after you get this game and play it for a little bit, you are not going to care about your starting equipment or your little starting goodies. They will quickly be surpassed or they will quickly be obsolete. There is no rush and there is no hurry for you to buy this game. Have a very, very skeptical opinion of the game. And be excited if you want, of course. I'm excited, but don't have an unrealistic level of excitement. Do not allow yourself to be clouded judgment-wise by your own excitement. That being said, I await more information about Tarkov with bated breath. I hope it is good, and I hope that this will be the game we all want it to be. I hope that it meets the wide market of survival PvP games and really, really takes it by storm. But I'm not going to assume that's the case, and despite all of my hopes, I'm not going to let myself become blinded by my own hopes.